Hi everybody and welcome back to another pregnancy video. Thank you so much for following along with my pregnancy journey. If you are not already a subscriber, hi, my name is Danny and I am currently 34 weeks and 6 days pregnant with baby number 3. We are having a surprise gender baby, so make sure you follow along so you can find out the gender of our baby. Today I'm going to be bringing you a video about my unmedicated birth plan. Now when I say that, I am saying without pain medications. I will be most likely induced due to some complications that I have, so I will probably get Pitocin or Cervidil while I'm being induced, but after the induction I will not be having any pain medication like an epidural or any type of spinal to help me with my labor. Now I know, everybody's like, you always want a natural birth and it never works out that way and yada yada yada. My first 2 babies were also without any pain medications. I did not have an epidural, I did not have a spinal, and I will not be getting one this time, and the reason I am so confident about that is because I cannot have one. So, with that being said, a lot of people get really concerned about whether or not they're going to get the epidural. I am not eligible to get an epidural due to some issues that I have with my spine, and so I honestly do not have a choice. I don't know that I would necessarily want to go this route if I had a choice, but at the same time I am actually very grateful that I am able to have a birth without the epidural because the recovery is so much easier to me anyways. I mean, I haven't recovered from having an epidural, but to me the recovery seems so much easier after not having pain medication versus having pain medication, and I'm just actually really grateful that I've been able to experience that. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and go over my entire birth plan. This has information about having no pain medication, but there's also extra information on there as well. My hospital has an online birth form or birth plan that you fill out on their website, so I'm going to go ahead and read it off of my phone and tell you guys what all is on that. The first thing is I would like the following people to be present at the birth. So obviously my husband will be there, and my mother and my mother-in-law will also be in the room. They were in the room with my other 2 girls. They really enjoyed it. Danny cut the cord for Madeline, and then my mom cut Kaylee's cord, and we'll probably have his mom cut this baby's cord this time. So it was really a good experience for everybody. Nobody was, you know, fighting with each other or being rude. I know a lot of times when you have other family members in the room that it can just cause a bunch of conflicts or it makes everybody uncomfortable. And honestly, they were there to experience the birth of their grandchildren. They didn't care what I looked like. They didn't care what they saw. They weren't judgmental of me or anything like that. They were just honestly there because they wanted to see the baby. We had surprise gender babies, so they were so excited to see the baby come out and see what the gender was. And it was just really a great experience for everybody all around. And to me, I really enjoyed having all of them there as well. There's an option for a doula. I do not have a doula. Then it says I would like to bring music to play on a mini stereo. I honestly don't really care. My last labor was 4 hours. I probably won't have time to even think about wanting to play music, but I have my phone if I want to listen to music. And the other one on this page is I would like the atmosphere to have dimmed lights in the room and keep it as quiet as possible. Again, I'm not picky. I think I said that for my first daughter, and then my second daughter I was like, I don't really care. And this time, honestly, baby's got to come out, so I really don't care if the lights are on, if the lights are off. I don't care if people are talking. I'm really honestly all for that. Like, I know that I'm in pain and I'm having a baby and they're there to support me, but I'm really not like, I'm not mean when I'm in labor. I wasn't yelling at anybody. I'm not vocal. I don't scream. I'm very quiet the whole time. And to me, it's like, I know I'm in pain, but why should everybody else be in pain too? Like, you know, if they're hungry, let them go eat. If they want to, you know, watch a 10-minute YouTube video on their phone as long as I'm not like pushing or anything like that, like I know they're there to help support me and they will help support me, but I'm really not super picky about what the people around me are doing. I don't really care what they're doing. For the first stages of labor, there's an option to keep vaginal exams to a minimum unless medically necessary. I don't really care. I would like to stay hydrated using ice chips, yes, and I'm really, really bad about this because they told me I'm not allowed to drink at all. They said I can chew on ice chips, but I can't drink water. I get the ice chips like as soon as I get there and I let it melt and then I drink the water. I know that's horrible, but I mean, honestly, I'm thirsty. I just want to drink something. In order to allow freedom of movement, I would prefer to have an IV access instead of being connected to a continuous IV infusion. They do IV access at the hospital regardless. You are not like stuck to a monitor or an IV stand all the time. However, since I will be induced and most likely will be induced with Pitocin, I will probably have the IV access, but also be hooked up to the IV stand for the entire duration of the labor. The next one is about the pain relief. Ideally, I'd like to have a drug-free birth. Please suggest medications if you see I'm uncomfortable. Please discuss my options for medication and epidural as soon as possible. I obviously have to pick the first option. Ideally, and honestly not ideally, but ideally, I'd like to have a drug-free birth, only offer medications if I ask. And honestly, they followed it the past 2 times. It was on my birth plan and it was never brought up to me. Not one time did the doctor or the nurse be like, hey, do you want to get an epidural? Like, we see you're in pain. Do you want pain medication? Both times, it was never even brought up. Then the next one is about different pain relief methods that aren't involving medication. And I'll just go ahead and read the things that I said I'd be willing to do. Walking, aromatherapy, music, breathing and distraction, pillows, birthing ball position changes, hot and cold therapy, relaxing imagery, rocking chair, massage, shower, and soft tub. They don't have soft tubs there unless you specifically have it prearranged beforehand, and even then it's very difficult to get one. But they do have a shower. I've never used a shower while in labor, but a lot of people say it helps, so I guess that would be a decent option if I decide I need it. But again, I had my last baby from like 0 centimeters to baby in 4 hours, and so I don't even know that that would really be an option in the end. Then it says if I choose to get medication, would I prefer IV pain medications or an epidural? I can have IV pain medications if I do ask for them. I think they offer a couple of different things. I'm not sure exactly what they all are or how they work or how effective they are in removing pain, but I absolutely cannot have an epidural. The next section is about monitoring the baby, and this is listening intermittently, listening continuously, or continuously with internal monitoring. Because I am high risk, I do have to constantly have the monitors on my belly. So if you've ever had a non-stress test done, or you've gone in and you've had like those 2, like usually one's pink and one's blue, you've had the 2 monitors strapped to you, one measures contractions, one measures the heartbeat. I do have to wear that for the entire duration. They take them off right as I'm starting to push. That way when the baby's out, they can just move the baby up to my stomach and my chest. But from the second I get there, before I'm even put into induction, they go ahead and they strap all that on and they monitor the baby, and I am stuck to that machine unless I get up to go pee. As long as the baby and I are fine, I would prefer to not have my labor stimulated. The first one is by breaking my water, and the second option is by using Pitocin. If you don't want either of those to happen to you, you check one of those. I had my water broken with Kaylee, but not with Madeline, and obviously I probably will need Pitocin. And the last one is about getting a catheter if you have an epidural. I don't have to answer that one because I will not be getting an epidural. Sorry guys, my camera died, so if that got a little jumpy there, that is why. So that is the first stages of labor. The second stages of labor say, as long as that it is clear that my baby's heart tones are good, and that he or she is receiving sufficient oxygen, I would like to be free from time limits on pushing. It is important to me that to allow my body It's important to me to allow my body to operate in its natural rhythm and timetable. I mean, that's fine for me. I got my kids out in like 2 pushes, and this baby's going to be bigger, so I don't know how that's going to necessarily affect how I'm pushing and how successfully I'm pushing, but I was able to push my kids out with like 2 contractions. And so I guess if I feel that I need more time pushing, I mean, it's kind of like a weird question to think about, because at one point they were telling me to push with a contraction. I was like, I can't push right now. And they're like, okay, that's fine. Like, they were very super understanding about whether or not I was pushing or not. So I didn't really feel pressured to push. I was kind of just doing things on my own time. So I guess kind of I agree with that question. The next question is about the different delivery positions. Some of these to me seem really crazy. Like, one of the options is standing. I don't know who gives birth standing, but I'm definitely not going to be doing that. The options are squatting, side laying, standing, semi-reclined on a bed in the C position, a birthing bar, hands and knees on bed, kneeling, resting arms on bed, or semi-reclined, knees bent, pulling a towel. I really would be open to trying anything if I had to do it, but the standing thing, I do not think I could stand and deliver a baby. The next one is about having an episiotomy. If you would prefer to have a warm compress, massage the area, encourage to breathe, things like that, just to help prevent from getting one. Honestly, if it's going to prevent tearing, I am willing to try anything at all. I tore decently bad with my first, and I didn't tear at all with my second, so I would love to not tear again. Since now I've had a comparison recovery between tearing and not tearing, I definitely don't want to tear. And connecting on to that question is, if you need an episiotomy, do you want the pressure of the baby's head to act as natural anesthesia, or do you want to have a local anesthesia numbing shot? And I definitely want the numbing shot if that's the case. I mean, I felt myself tear the first time. A lot of times people are like, oh, you can't even feel when you tear. I felt when I tear. I know the exact 2 moments that I got each one of my tears, and I know why I got them, and like what I did to cause myself to tear. If that sounds really weird, it wasn't just from like the baby's head coming out. It was actually from the baby's head already being halfway out, and then like a position change where my legs got pulled back really, really hard, and that kind of, I don't want to be TMI, but like it kind of like opened everything up more and stretched everything too far when my legs were pulled back into that position, and that is what caused me to tear. The first time we didn't do that, the second time, and I didn't tear at all. But if they are going to be taking any type of sharp object and cutting my skin in that area, I do not want the baby's head to be acting as a natural anesthesia, because I felt my tears and I do not want to feel somebody cutting at my skin. I just don't. I will lose my crap if that happens. The next one is about using forceps, vacuums, or both. It says, would you prefer to use the forceps or the vacuums? And then the third one is, I trust my healthcare provider's judgment. And I just picked that one mostly because I know for the fact that the hospital I'm going to actually does not use forceps. So they will only use the vacuum. And I don't necessarily think I'm going to need that. So I'm just gonna trust what my healthcare provider thinks that we need to do. Then there's a couple of other questions. Would you like to have a mirror available? Nope. I would like to touch my baby's head as it crowns? Not really. I would like my baby placed on my abdomen immediately after birth? Yes. And I would like the opportunity to cut the cord or have my partner cut the cord? Yes. Those are stage 2. Stage 3. This is delivery of the placenta. There's only 2 questions here: that you would like to see the placenta, and if you would like to obtain the blood from the cord or keep the placenta for encapsulation. I saw my placenta with Maddie. Did I see it with Kaylee? Can't remember if I saw it with Kaylee. I'm fine. They asked me if I wanted to see it with Maddie and I was like, sure, why not? Like, it doesn't gross me out. So, I mean, if it's there, I'll look at it. If it's not, like, I don't really care either way. We are not keeping the blood or encapsulating the placenta. The placenta encapsulation thing like creeps me out. So definitely not doing that. And we aren't planning on keeping the cord blood. I would honestly love to do that, but it's just not like within our financial means right now. It is so expensive to do that in our area at least, and it's just not something that we are capable of doing right now. So unfortunately none of our kids' cord blood have been stored. The next section is for after everything is done, and this is about the baby and what we are doing with the baby after it is out. You come in here? You wanna come say hi? We're talking about the baby. We're talking about the baby. Yeah. Can you say hi? Hi. Are you a baby? No. No, you're a big girl. You a big girl? Yeah. Yeah? Spit this out. Can you wave? Hi. Say I love you, YouTube. Subscribe. You know you don't want to miss any of my videos because I'm so darn cute. Right? Yeah. Yeah. If you're new to my channel, this is Madeline, our oldest little baby, who's getting to be so big. You're so big. Are you a big girl? Yeah. You are a big girl. Are you going to be a really good big sister? Yeah. You're already a good big sister, aren't you? Is Kaylee going to be a good big sister? No? She's not? No. Is she a mean little sister? Okay. You're cute. You want to go play? Yeah. Okay. Here you go. Go play. Go play. Anyway, the first thing is about the eye ointment that they put in the baby, about whether or not we would like to have that administered. And I put yes, we had it with our other two. I am totally fine with them getting those medications. The next one is about the vitamin K shot. So I said yes, we would like to start the treatment immediately and not wait until the baby has already left the hospital. This next one is about getting like their weight and their length and, you know, kind of everything that happens right after the baby is born. So I have the option of having the baby taken to the nursery immediately for their first bath. I'm not doing that. I would like to spend some time bonding with my baby before they are taken for their first bath. So I said yes, that's what I would prefer to do. It's important for my partner or me to be present for our baby's first bath. I said yes. And I would like for my partner or myself to be present during all newborn procedures, and I also put yes. And then the last question is about starting all the immunizations at the hospital or waiting until their first doctor's appointment or holding off altogether. And I put I would like to begin immunizations while in the hospital. The next section, which is kind of weird that it's just now asking these instead of in the beginning, but this is about having a C-section. It says I would like my partner to be present during the surgery, so yes. And then there's the one that says I would like to remain awake with an epidural anesthesia if possible. I can't have the epidural, so I don't know what would happen if I need to have a C-section. But the other option is I would like to be put to sleep, and I don't know if I would be put to sleep. I think there's a spinal block that they can give to me that isn't like a catheter that goes in my back. It's the catheter going down my spine that is the issue. It's not the medication itself that's the issue. So if they're able to just give me like a shot and have a spinal block of some sort without the catheter, then I may be able to go that route. If not, I would have to be put to sleep. I would like to have the screen lowered so that I can see my baby being born. I'm fine with that given that I'm awake, but again, I don't know what would happen if I have a C-section. Assuming that the baby's doing well, I would like the opportunity to see the baby and touch him or her as soon after birth as possible. Of course, I put yes. And I would like to breastfeed my baby as soon as possible. I put yes. The last section is about feeding, and I put that I am planning to exclusively breastfeed, and that I would also like to speak to the lactation consultant because my anatomy in this area isn't really super functional for breastfeeding. I have really inverted nipples, and so it's very hard for me to get a latch. I ended up having to exclusively pump with my other two, but we're going to try really hard this time to get this baby to latch. So I would like to speak to the lactation consultant. I also said please don't offer formula unless I ask for it, pacifiers, or artificial nipples. So that is it. That's it. Yeah, that's it, isn't it? So anyway, guys, that is my natural unmedicated birth plan. I don't know that it'll go all the way that I planned, but like I mentioned before, my other 2 births were so quick that it's not like any of it really made a difference. And I also cannot have the epidural, so we'll see how it goes. We're about 4-ish weeks now away from having a baby, so we're gonna have another baby, aren't we? Yeah, you excited? Are you tired? No? Alright, can you say bye to everybody?
Bye.
Say give it a thumbs up. Thumbs up. Good job. Say hit subscribe.
Subscribe.
Good job, you're so sweet. And say we'll see you in the next one. We'll see you in the next one, right? Yeah, I love you. Do you love your mommy?
Yeah.
Uh-oh, you're falling. Ah, okay. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.